Amina Shareef, a researcher at Cambridge University, into Islamophobia. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Amina. These comments from Nadine Dorries, they were made back in 2018. I think it's important we point that out. But she is now the Culture Secretary. What's your reaction to her appointment?
Well, first, these kinds of comments that are made, I have to make some, remarks on these first. When Nadine suggested or said outright that the niqab or the burqa was a medieval dress code, she wasn't trying to simply locate this, Islamic practice on some sort of historical timeline. She was evoking this long-standing imaginary that Islamic dress and Muslim women's dress is pre-modern and it's anachronistic and it's outdated. And, the anachronism of the burqa that she was referencing was its supposed, role in the gender subjugation of women. And now these comments are absolutely witless and so well rehearsed, they're painful to hear for their lack of originality. She, like the Prime Minister that appointed her, makes these unsubstantiated claims that the burqa is, inherently oppressive, and she ought to know that nothing's inherently oppressive, but rather, it becomes oppressive in a particular context of oppression or in a specific relation of coercion. But, I think given Nadine's sort of history of supporting Islamophobic comments, we can't really expect her to think very deeply about these issues or deviate very far from, these very narrow-minded repertoires of reductive stop meanings from which stereotypes of Muslim practices are drawn and circulate. And, my reaction to that is, this is, these comments are simplistic, they're populist, they're unsophisticated, but politicians make them because they have political currency. And these views allow, the weak to be instrumentalized to enhance political actors' own status and political weight.
As you mentioned, she was promoted by the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, who has his own history of controversial statements on this issue. I mean, how concerned are you that their comments feed into this perceived rise of Islamophobia in the UK? And would you be asking her for an apology for those comments?
I absolutely believe that these kind of comments have a history in the Conservative Party. Johnson himself, in in an article he wrote for the Telegraph, referred to niqab-wearing women as bank robbers and letterboxes. We're very familiar with that now. But we also have a recent report investigating the instances of Islamophobia in the Conservative Party. And it was found that there were 120 instances of Islamophobia in the years between 2014 and 19. And so, some people might defend this as free speech, but it's not free speech. Of course, it's speech freely given, but, it's tactless and it's reckless. It's tactless because, we live in a multi-ethnic, multi-faith, multilingual nation. That doesn't mean we need to express our discomfort for other people's faith practices in crude and demeaning ways. And it's also very reckless because, the targets of this so-called free speech is a group of women who are already statistically marginalized in various sectors of society, such as housing, education, employment, and so on and so forth. So absolutely, Nadine needs to issue an apology. And will she make an apology? I don't think so, because this is the kind of politics that she has a history of playing, and it's a kind of politics that has become very vogue because of the political currency that it has.
Amina, thank you very much indeed. Amina Shareef there commenting on the appointment of the new Culture Secretary, Nadine Dorries.